Yo, major shout out for the homie Blake, man, an Unfiltered Bachelor podcast. What's up, bro? It's Gator.
And what is happening, everybody? It's your boy Blake Money, Blake Weather. Welcome to another episode, Unfiltered Bachelor. I don't know if I'm going to be singing that from now on, but, you know, how's everybody doing? I hope you guys are doing well in this crazy time and in the world we're living in. Welcome to another week of Lil Dicky's Dave Breakdown episode. We're on 6?
Episode 6.
Holy shit. It is, and of course, as always, your favorite co-host, my favorite co-host, the guy on the fly, the neighbor with the flavor, Jeff. How you doing?
What's up? How's everyone out there doing?
They're telling you right now they're doing well. I'm like absolutely sure of that.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. How you doing, buddy?
Oh man, you know me. I'm doing good. It's Friday. It's Lil Dicky Day. That's like my favorite day of the week.
Man, dude, it's Friday. We're gonna go out. We're gonna party, and we're gonna do none of that because self-isolating.
Party in my living room. You will party in your own living room because of social distancing.
Because we're responsible adults.
Because we're not trying to spread COVID-19. New episode of Dave. What is it? This one's called Talent Shows.
Talent shows.
Who was right? Were you right? I feel like you were right. Right? Didn't you say
I think
something
I was.
to the effect of like, I said something about, I think he's going to be doing a show. And then you're like, what if it's talent shows? So what if they showed like talent show from when he was younger? And then now, like, he's older, but you kind of like, maybe you were like, maybe he's doing it in front of the kids. I kind of thought he was doing a show. And that's the way I remember it.
Right.
I could be wrong.
I think it was we were right together.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That idea.
Yeah, exactly. So combined, this is
When
why
we
he's my
team up, we
co-host.
figure this shit out.
Right. Together, we win. And this episode was really great, man. My takeaways from this were like, it was kind of interesting to see like even more why he does what he do. You know what I mean? Why he do what he do.
Very true. And it's very interesting seeing the like you see the life path, career path. You see the road that Dave's starting to really take. Mm-hmm. And this episode is definitely a turning point for that.
Yeah, so we always talk about too. Every episode there's like a standout character, and in this one for me, I'm just gonna say it. For me, it was the parents. Like this.
Oh my god, 100%. Fucking hilarious.
Every episode there's
feces.
It's feces.
The feces.
And I love how
that's
Mike.
what I'm saying. I'm saying feces.
I love how Mike's like, you're saying feces, right? And he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah. That's the way you say it.
Well, you know what I like about it? Dicky goes, I feel like I'm getting punked right now. And Andrew Santino was on Punked. He was one of like the main characters.
Was he?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
So I thought that was a fun little callback.
Oh, okay. I like that.
So before we get too much into this episode, though, I do want to do a quick callback to last week's episode, Hype Man.
Yeah.
And it was just, I found this message that Dicky put out on his Instagram, and I just think it's a really great message.
Oh, yeah.
He says, this week's episode of Dave on FXX is very special. Gaeta isn't just an actor I hired to play a role. He's my actual hype man in real life and one of the best friends I'll ever have. There hasn't been a single concert I've done without Gaeta there, up there by my side. There isn't a song I make that doesn't go to him the second it's exported. I believe in myself the way I do because he believes. He is in my corner every day. I can't even put into words how much he's impacted my life despite my attempt to do so right here, right now. In episode 5, Gaeta let me tell his story as part of my own, and I've literally never been prouder of anyone ever. So brave, so raw, so vulnerable, so honest, so good. And not just on screen. You are so good as a person. You light up everyone's world the second you meet them. You are changing the world for the better. Only you know what you had to go through to get where you are right now. You did it, bro. Do or die. Do yourself a favor and go watch the latest episode because Gaeta now stands for greatest actor that's acted. If there wasn't a quarantine going on right now, I'd suck your cock down to the bone. But unfortunately there is, and we must stay inside, so all I can do is tell you how much I love you. I love you, Gata. You are a national treasure, but you'll always be my Deviante. And like we don't do callbacks to last like previous episodes or anything, but I just felt that one was so
powerful,
important, and I felt last episode was so important that it did need a callback.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's way appropriate. And it was a beautiful episode. We spent 2 hours talking about it because it was just so
I feel like we could no joke spend another 2 right now talking about it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But we won't. And so
if you guys haven't watched it yet, fuck you. Go back and watch it.
Go back and watch that one. Watch that one. Like if I could have anybody watch one episode of Dave, it would be that episode.
That'd be the episode I get hooked on.
Yeah.
That's how I hook you on the show.
Yeah.
100%.
And then we could start from the beginning, right? Because then you see the beginning, absolutely. You'd be like, oh, it's the end of the 5th episode, which is a cool little callback.
Right, man.
So again, we start with this episode with Dave as a youngin.
As a youngin. Little Jufro glasses at camp.
Hanging out with L's, right? Like that's little L's as far as I can tell.
So that's little L's. And it just goes back to the whole idea of the point of literally Dave and L's have been friends their entire lives.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, so when I watched the episode the first time, I thought that kid with the red hair, I thought that was Mike. Yeah, I did. But then they didn't call him Mike, and I was like, oh, okay, that's not Mike.
I'm really interested to see if they do an episode where we find out how he and Mike met.
Yeah.
We still don't know how they met.
Right. No, not all. So yeah, I'd love to see some background, on that. And then, so
they're at camp.
They're at camp, and then you realize, like, they start talking about, like, little kids, like, they're little kids, and they're like, oh, you got small dick. You know, like, this whole conversation comes up about where this kid's like, well, you know, it's probably because you have a small dick, you know, and something, and it's like, well, we haven't seen everybody's dick here, you know, and like, Dave, like, clearly the camera goes to Dave. Like, I love.
Yeah, the one kid, like, the leader of the group says, well, Bird's probably, which is Dave's last name, Bird's probably got the smallest dick considering he always showers with swimsuit on.
Right. And to change the subject from it, because, you know, again, Dicky points out, or Dave points out, that is an insecurity of his. And especially when you're a kid, bro, like, as an adult, like, it's like, okay, fuck it. Like, you can be like Dicky and, you know, self-deprecating humor, ha ha ha. But when you're a kid, that shit'll, like, bro, like, that shit'll fuck you up.
Going through puberty?
That shit'll fuck you. Like just like kids picking on you saying, oh, you got a little dick. 100%. You know? Like, that'll fuck you up. And so to change the subject, he just does what they keep referring to it as a bird bomb. Which
he goes, I think it's time for me to do a bird bomb.
Right. But the bird bomb, the concept of the bird bomb is like,
all the guys are just like, oh, really?
Right.
Fuck yeah, man. Like,
and like, what the fuck is a bird bomb? You have no idea what the fuck is going on. Like, what does this even mean? And like, he tells this joke, and then he slams his face into, you know, pile of, like, it looks like lo mein or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's definitely lo mein, because that's what they were talking about.
And so, and then everybody starts laughing. It's like, you know, and you realize, like, as the episode goes on, like, it's really just this kind of foolery, like the slapstick style of humor.
Tomfoolery.
It's tomfoolery.
He's a class clown, man.
Yeah, not even the class clown. It's not even the class clown. It's the kid that, like, he's just like, for the sake of, like, for a laugh or because of pressure, you know what I mean? Like, kids will pressure him into doing these crazy things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and we do learn that a bit later. Like, at this point, it still seems like he's just like, oh, this is to have fun. Well, obviously, not even to have fun. This one is clearly because he doesn't want anyone to know about his dick.
Right.
It was like you were saying, by the way, before, which I totally, literally just realized. For a kid going through puberty, just the idea of having the smallest dick out of your friends is the worst. But he's got the smallest dick out of his friends, and he's got the fucked up dick.
Yeah.
He's got the 2 pee holes and everything. Like, he's got the hyperspids.
The hypo
So like it would be
speak-
even scarier for him, you know?
Exactly. He's got a lot more to like, and that's probably why he wears another reason why he wears the swim trunks.
The swimsuit.
Yeah, swimsuit.
Yep.
I didn't think about it though right now, but yeah, hypospadias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like he tells this little. It's almost like like a sea shanty or some shit. It's these little this rhyming little story that's clearly a joke, and then slams his face into the Lil Main, and then it just boom cuts to present.
Right.
Or no. Yeah. It cuts to the Dave.
Yeah. Well, it cuts to him at the parents' house. I love this. I love this scene. The scene where
which is so fucking great.
It's fucking hilarious.
There are so many throwaway jokes in this scene.
And it's so great because this is like one of the most like well-written comedic scenes. I don't know, like not even this show, but a lot of like just in general. I think that's been done
100%
because like it's
present day and it's in Philly. It's at Dave's parents' house and it's Dave, Gata, Els, Mike, and Dave's parents sitting at his parents' dining room table having dinner.
Right.
And there's a bunch that goes down here. One of my favorite things is Gata goes, "Yo, you got any more of these crackers?" And they go, "Oh yeah, that's matzah.
The
bread."
the matzah, and he's like,
and Gata goes,
"Matzah,
like
mozzarella,
cheese? Like mozzarella."
It's like no, it's unleavened bread.
It's just a quick throwaway. It's just a one fun little comment right there. But I also love. So Els is there, right? And obviously Dave's parents have known Els their entire lives. And at one point they say, "Elliot used to be here all the time." And Mike just looks at him and goes, "Oh, is that right, Elliot? Oh, that's really nice to hear, Elliot." And Els just looks at Mike and just goes, "Burn in hell."
So we now know El's real name, like his full name. We have never known it before this. And yeah, it's just a lot of, I think it's a lot of, it's just a lot of the mom and the dad, right? Like adjusting to like Dave's friends. Like obviously they kind of got a relationship with Mike.
They seem super cool and super happy with all of them. They were very accepting.
Yeah, absolutely. Accepting. Absolutely. Funny word. They were just like, no, I was just going to say.
Does a lot to take.
Yeah. They're just, accepting. Okay. That's a good word for
Gata.
He's like, I came down here one time with Tig and she's like, Gator, Tiger, like what is next? Armadillo? Oh, and then she has the list of questions. The mom has the list of questions.
Yeah, she pulls out an actual legal sheet, like the yellow legal pad,
yeah,
full of fucking questions just for Mike. Which, oh man,
it's so great. Like, and I love how do we need to bring some money, some to tip? Do we need to bring some dollars?
Oh yeah, the dad's more worried that. So the thing is, they're talking about Dave's upcoming show, which is the next night or the night after. But the parents are clearly going to the show. They're clearly very excited for the show, but they have so many goddamn questions about the show.
Yeah, you can. There's clearly definitely a generational gap and a cultural gap of like what Dicky's into versus like what like his what he's doing with the rap scene and like kind of what they're aware of as far as shows go. So like even the question of is it going to be seats? Is there going to be assigned seats?
Or is it going to be a mash pit?
A mash pit.
Are people going to be mashing? But that was the other thing. It surprised me how accepting they were of Dicky's rap career, because let's be honest, elderly Jewish parents aren't typically the people familiar with and accepting of rap. So like even the fact that they were just so cool with that's the prospect Dave's going down, I thought was really cool.
Right. They're trying to I think this scene right here is a bit of them trying to do their best to understand like the hell Dave is doing and to like try to be a part like as best as they can to like understand and fit in and be like, okay, like that's what this is and that's what that is. You know what I mean?
And by the way, noticed because of you, Dave's wearing a peach sweatshirt at this point.
I was telling you, I think peaches is Dave color.
I think peach is Dave's color. I don't think it's Dicky's color.
It's not a Dicky color. Yeah, we were talking about this in the last episode because he was trying to wear blue and when he was
more
trying
like more like flamboyant
colors
things going on. You know,
when he's Dicky. You know, when he's trying to be
looks like a playing card.
Yeah. But yeah, this scene is just great. Like the great banter between all of them. And so this scene's important. I think one of the part of the scenes that's important that is kind of low key missed amongst the comedy bit is how Dave makes that little one line. Hey, my guys from camp are coming. We can't let them be GA. We need to get them backstage. And Els
saying that to Mike, and Els is not.
Els is like, why? Like, why? And this a throw. It's kind of a throwaway moment until you watch the episode. You just got to watch it once
all the way through. Yeah,
and then you're like,
well, it's surprising as well because literally the scene just before this, Els was part of that group, and they were all having a good time together.
Right.
So it's like, I wonder what happened with Els. You know.
Right.
I'm sorry, Elliot.
Burn in hell. And I love how when the mom tries to pronounce Gata's name, like another funny part, and she's like, "Got it, Gata," and he's like, "You can just call me Diavante if that's easier," and she's just like,
Daviante, which I have to give Gata an apology because I think last week I called him Davante.
Oh right,
it's Daviante.
Yeah,
no, dude, you're absolutely
it's not any
easier, bro. The look on her face was just pure. Huh?
So then we cut to.
Well, two of the things I in that scene were one, I liked, and I do think this is important, and I think it'll come up in a bit. So, Dave at the table while his mom and Mike and Gata and all them are talking.
Oh, he's trying to text Allie?
He texts Sally just sweet, like, hey, how you doing? I miss you. And and like it's a quick throwaway moment. Like it's not even really a big moment, but just his mom's like, Dave, and I just love Gata goes, at the table, man. Shame on you. I love that. I feel like there's another part that I just loved about this scene but forgot. But anyway, no, I don't know why, but I just love that Gata's on his best behavior and he's being so polite at this table and everything. I'm like, fuck yeah, Gata. I fucking love you, man. Gata's the best.
He's on his best behavior. I love it, yeah. And then so we cut to Dave taking him to the basement.
Yeah. Which I love how Gata's like, really, man, you're going to put me in a musty-ass basement?
Yeah, he bitching and whining.
I know you got an attic in this bitch.
He bitch and whine all the way until he gets to the bottom, and then he's like, "Oh shit, y'all doing it like this?"
Well, that's kind of a typical basement up north.
Really? I mean,
so
I've never. No, I don't know anything.
So the thing is, like here, and like I don't know how it is wherever you guys are listening, but here in Austin and maybe Texas in general, there just aren't basements. Period, because the rock shelf or whatever is so low that it's just like you can't build a basement. But up north, it's a lot, like everyone has a basement, and most people will make it into a finished basement. So instead of building an extra floor up, you got an extra floor down. And it's like, yeah, it's a real, and you'll make it into a real nice room. Like a big thing is for, like when a boy, starts going into puberty, it's like, well, he needs a little more space and he needs, to grow up a bit. So he gets the basement room,
Right, so
he's still in the
jerk off
house,
over there, huh?
He's like separate from him. Exactly, it's 100% because the parents don't want to listen to him jerk off anymore. But yeah, that's like a big thing up north.
Okay, gotcha. All right, well, that's something new to me.
Yeah. Gata sees the basement and he fucking is like, "Oh, this is fucking nice," which it is.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's a nice fucking basement, man.
It is. Now, like, I kind of shared the sentiment with Gata of like, yeah, the fuck is Dave doing? But also, like, Dave would never like do something bad either, right? Like, he wants the best.
Not
for
at
fucking,
all, and definitely not to Gata.
But no, not all.
None.
And so, and they kind of have a little like friendly, like funny moment, and I don't know what. This is one of the scenes where I was just kind of like, I think, if anything, I got out of it because I was trying to look to see what did I get out of the scene or what I get out of that moment.
Yeah.
It's kind of more or less like, like it's just kind of the type of friendship that they have at that point, right? Like Dave is trying to be funny and kind of like. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. But this is also the scene where, because Gaeta goes, man, what's with all, because the walls are peppered with all the shit he got from camp. Like, certificates and trophies and
that's
stuff.
a good way of the
Gaeta
scene.
goes,
I'm sorry.
Dude, what's up with this camp, man? You get late, you lose your virginity there or something?
And he's like, actually, no, I never kissed a girl there.
Far from it.
Yeah, okay.
But, that's when Dave says, that camp is where I feel like I came into my comedic self, my entertaining self.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually, and he mentions, he goes, in fact, there was this talent show there, and I wasn't even going to do anything in it, but everyone knew I was so funny, and they knew I was so cool that they all demanded, we want Bird. We want Bird. So I went up there, man, and that was like the first time I realized like I'm an entertainer.
Right,
so I think that was the point of that scene.
Yes, that's exactly the point of that.
It does literally end with Dave tucking Gaeta in and trying to kiss him on the cheek.
Yeah, so again, if you pay attention to it again, like so on the rewatch, there's all these moments. So we've already had the group of friends that are from camp. He's talked about the group of friends from camp. We're seeing there's evidence of camp. Like, is this a big in his head? Like, this is 3 moments. This is 3 different scenes, 3 different tie-ins to this fucking kids from camp. You know what I mean? Or like the camp being a big deal for fucking him. You're absolutely right. I'm sorry. I totally, I remember the moment, but I totally overlooked it.
Honestly, it's just replaying on my screen right now.
Yeah,
That's the reason
I ran it back and I was just like, oh yeah, that's right. And then the next scene, one of my favorite scenes of the fucking, episode when the mom is looking out at fucking the dad. Oh, fuck yeah. And she's just staring and she's like, what the hell is he doing? He's like, and Mike's clearly just like me. I'm just like, he's just watching
the dad spraying down the car and he's washing the car and Mike's with a sponge.
Mike's reply though is something to the effect of like, he's like, he's just washing his car. Like, I think you should do those things. This thing's expensive. It's just like, that's not even his car.
Man to watch his own car.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll say that again because I think I talked over you. She says
that's not even his car. This is in the garage. That's the neighbor's.
And Mike goes, wait, what? She goes, yeah, that's some random person's car out there.
And then he's watching the wheel. I love what he's like, oh, he's really getting in there, getting in the wheels, huh?
Yeah, he's getting in the wheel.
He's
Man,
like,
my favorite part is Mike goes, do you want me to go out and stop him? And she goes, no. It gives him something to do, and it'll make someone happy.
No, she's like, no, she says the word fucking. Like, she's like, no, at least he's making someone fucking happy. And I was like, fucking. And then you see the dad clicking. He tries to do the alarm on the car. He tries to lock the car. And the noise clearly is not coming from the car. The car didn't even light up. And he's like looking around for like where the noise is coming from.
You see him look at the garage. It's so funny. Like it's
that's one of my favorite moments from this fucking episode.
I had to rewind it because I laughed so hard through this scene. I missed half the fucking quotes. But then she turns back to Mike and she goes, "Where were we?" And Mike goes,
"Question 19,
number 19."
Yeah,
and she pulls the goddamn legal pad back out. Do you remember what she asks him?
How do we prevent people from being scalped? And he's like,
for Dave's tickets.
Right, yeah. And she's like, Mike with that look, he doesn't know how to tell her in this moment, like clearly, Mike is the funniest because he not only went on with the feces joke as we broke down like very early on.
Feces?
Feces. It's feces. Feces. It's feces. That's
like
what I'm saying.
I'm going to call it feces for the rest of my life, right?
Mike clearly, he kind of goes along with the dad. He's like, yeah, it's vicious. It's obviously not. And then he clearly goes along, like, he's just very, it's that deadpan humor that we talk about kind of in like Atlanta where he's not looking for a reaction, but he's being funny in the moment and they have no fucking idea, so like in this moment, he has no idea how to tell, the mom that like, ain't nobody fucking gonna scalp your kid's tickets. Like, he ain't that big. You know? He doesn't know how to tell her that, though. You know what I mean? But with one look, he says it all, and he's just like, I can promise you, nobody's gonna be scalped.
Oh shit! I missed I just remembered another really funny moment. So, like, obviously, the reason this is so funny is because it's not that a person gets scalped for a ticket; it's you scalp tickets,
right?
Or you're scalping tickets,
right?
I just remembered another fucked up turn of phrase from the mom.
Oh, the facial.
You remember when they're at dinner?
The facial.
So there's a point where they're at dinner. And she goes, Dave, I love those coupons that you got me. I love going and getting massages, and I think of you every time I get a facial.
And everybody just kind of like, the fuck?
Just stop eating and stare, and then just continue with the conversation.
Phrasing. Yeah, that's, again, the little moments like that.
Is he Korean? Why? Gee.
Does it have a question mark? But yeah, so this real moment right here is again, clearly the parents still have a lot of, the mom really is just clearly has a lot of questions about, you know, what is StubHub? What did she say? Is that what she said?
Yeah. She says exactly. All right, my next question. What is StubHub? And it's so funny because Mike's just got to deal with them, but
he does it.
I think it's important because it shows them. Well, it also shows that they're involved. They're invested,
mm-hmm.
and they really believe in him. You know,
right. Clearly, and so
from there, do we cut to the club?
Yeah, let me see. So I just rewound it a little bit. Let me see. I believe we are
literally just back on the. I'm
we are
back
in the
on
club.
The scene where he's washing the car.
Yeah. That's fucking hilarious scene. So we're now in the club, and there was a throwaway line that we kind of passed, but Gata tells Dicky or Dave back when he's putting him in the basement. But, you know, he tells him, hey, he's like, I talked to this, you know, my guys over here. Like, he said, we come to the club and pop bottles. And he's like, how do you know people in Philly? Like, we've only been here for 2 hours. He's like, nah, this dude at the airport I met.
So he told me you got to bring LD and all your boys up in there.
Right. So clearly that line pays off. We're in the club. They're popping bottles. They're hanging out. And the scene really,
it's funny because they got a shitty bottle, Ciroc. And then they got a good bottle of Goose.
Yeah.
It's like, what? And I know I notice shit like this just because I work in the bar industry, but like, who the fuck gets a bottle of Ciroc and a bottle of Grey Goose?
Like when you want to you need to get a fancy one, but you need to get a cheap one too.
Well, yep. But yeah, so they're at the club and they're sitting in their booths and and Dave's doing a dance that I know I've seen in a music video before, but I just can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's sitting there and he's dancing and he's talking with Mike and Gata and Els. And yeah, you were saying?
I was gonna say, so the scene kind of, if Dickie already seems uncomfortable in the kind of this, like they're dancing, like the girls come over, bring the bottles and everything, and he's just like, you don't have to do this. Like, I don't want it to be a big thing. But that whole mind shift changes when the guys from
he's real fast.
The guys from the camp, like his friends, the kids that he grew up with, like all of a sudden he wants to like fucking, hey, let's move down and stuff like that. And like he's so happy to see him.
Show up.
They're happy to see him, and the only person that's not happy to see any of him is still fucking Els. And he doesn't want to move. He's like, bro, there's too many. Can we put any more guys here? Like he's making all these little like snarky comments. You know what I mean? And Dave's all about giving these guys drinks.
So first off, Dave's like, yo, Els, can you just move on down? Come on, make room. So first off, it's like Dave is like, oh no, let the camp guys in, and it's like, but you know, dude, Els has been here the entire time. You know, he's not just like your camp friend, but like he's been your friend outside of camp. He's still your friend now, and you're asking him to move the fuck down. That's kind of messed up,
right?
But I also think two important things happened before the camp guys showed up. And one was just Mike. Mike goes, oh man, I already hate all this shit. I'm gonna get some work done. He pulls out his fucking
the laptop,
and then he goes to find the manager to get the Wi-Fi password.
I'm gonna get the Wi-Fi password. Yeah.
The real important part, in my personal opinion, is Els. Els says to Dicky before the Camp Dickweed show up. Els looks at Dicky and goes, "Dude, no joke. You look like a real rapper right now." And I thought that was actually a really important thing to say.
Yeah,
you know?
he said you look like a real rapper, low key, and I was like, "Oh,
yeah.
what a cool thing."
Because let's be honest, Els has kind of been like the slowest one to come around. I feel like Mike and Gaeta came around way quicker, but I think Els saying that was like really important. I think it was him showing, really, really a high level of belief in Dicky.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was showing him being proud of Dave in that moment,
Yeah. That's a real good point. Yeah, this might be the I think this episode is a good turning point for Els to realize and we'll get to that. I think that this is one moment, and there's a second.
Yeah, we'll
moment,
get to that.
Clearly. But yeah, so they're partying with the boys, and
then the security comes in.
Yeah, security asks them we're gonna move you because Lil Uzi's coming. And
which, by the way, that's fucked up.
I mean,
maybe it's just me, but that seems fucked up.
I mean, I get it. I get it.
If I was the owner of that bar, and there's this nobody that's just opening for Meek Mills, and then a known rapper comes in, I'd probably make the exact same call.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It might be fun, but I get it.
Funny, man.
He asked him to move, and Gaeta gets
Gaeta gets.
He gets pissed as fuck, dude. Yeah, I thought he was gonna fuck somebody up, bro. And
he did back in before the medication days.
Yeah, it looked like that. He got the crazy face on. And what really
I didn't understand why.
What's that?
I didn't understand why. Was it really that much of an insult?
Yeah,
yeah.
I get it. I totally get it. It's like a pride thing, bro. You telling me when we've already spent good money in this club, it's like you just said, you just pointed it out, what the basis is. It's fucked up. And Gaeta's not there to have any of it. Just because
it's fucked up, but if you're not at that level yet, you're not at that level yet.
In Gaeta's mind, if you didn't want us to have this table, you shouldn't have gave us this table. If you wanted this table reserved, you should have reserved this fucking table. If you can move us blatantly to a different table, then you could have just had us at that table from the get-go. We already have all these people here.
Give the other guy that table.
Right. There's so many moves you could have made without making us pride is a big thing, bro. In rap, you know what I mean? And if you live the life and you come from that, that culture, bro, and hood street shit, pride is really what you live and die by. So when somebody kind of hurts the pride, hurts the ego, bro, you got to step the fuck up and do something about it.
See, and that's the interesting thing because it's not even Gaeta's ego that he's defending. He's defending Dicky's ego. He's defending Dicky's reputation. It's funny because Dave's actually not even that upset about it, but Gaeta's sitting there no, man, no, they're disrespecting you. This isn't right. He's literally saying to Dave, I'm defending you.
Yeah, and he tells him, he's anybody would be happy to have me in the corner like this. Remember he tells him something to that effect. I'm not going to go word for word. I don't remember everything, but he gets him in his face and he's like, bro, anybody would be happy to have me like this, defending him like this. And you out here acting like this. He's like, you acting like a real pussy. And he walks away. Yeah. He walks away.
And he says it in front of all the camp guys. And they're all just staring
clearly
right at Dave as he says
fuck.
it. And
yeah.
I was like, that's awkward.
And right after that, I love how Mike comes up. He's like, I got the Wi-Fi password.
Mike is my spirit animal because he's the epitome of just the uber white guy in a club that doesn't belong in.
And he's trying to do work. Yeah, he's so funny. But
right after he says that, then we get another real big part.
Yeah, so obviously they're forced to move. Again, Elle's still being snarky to one of the guys because one of the guys said, "Hey, that Gaeta right there, he's real hood, huh?
How about that?
He's real hood, huh?" And
yeah, you're real white, huh?
Yeah, and he's like, "What?" And he's like, "Nothing, bro. I'll see you at the others." Yeah, okay. And then he's like, "I'm out of here. I'm leaving." And he's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can't be here no more. I can't be around this." And he leaves.
It was interesting that he's saying this to Mike, and I think it's interesting. I thought it at least was interesting that he goes, "I'm sorry, I just can't do it anymore."
Yeah.
like almost like he felt bad that he's like bailing on the night or something. But it was just so interesting that the fact that he said, "I'm sorry, I just can't do it anymore." It was the "I'm sorry" that I don't know why, but it just really made me take notice. But then it cuts to the next scene, and they're at the new table, and now with Els gone, the camp dicks are taking over.
Yeah, it's Els. So here's the thing that these two scenes why I think this is important. It's because Dicky's protection is basically gone. You have Mike who has headphones in. He has headphones in and he's working on his laptop. Why do you have headphones in, bro? Put headphones in the club.
You're still happy when he's doing so.
Yeah, I know. He has headphones on the club.
He's got such a smile on his face.
But all of Dicky's like kind of protection, all of Dave's protection is gone, right? Like Els gone, Gata gone, Mike distracted, and he's now like here to entertain like there's in the moment you're like kind of their friends, like you're like, oh, I get it. Like up until that point, I was like, man, it's old school friends. Like maybe Els is just like, these guys get it. Like I don't know. Like maybe they did something to Els, like left him out because he's black or something. I didn't know in the moment. Like I'm just thinking back, and I'm like, Dicky's having fun with his friends, and like he's doing
like
crazy
Dave was
shit.
Holding court, you know?
Yeah. And he's just talking about old school shit. And I love the line where he's like, bro, I forgot how funny you were. And he's like, why the fuck would you do that?
Why would you ever do that?
He's like, I don't know.
Such a good fucking line, by the way.
And so they
talk about the good old days and shit.
Now that they remember how funny he is, they say, hey, why don't you do a bird bomb? And Dicky's like,
oh, should I?
Yeah. He's like, all right. So I'm assessing, checking the room. And this
By the way, I don't know about you, but my thought was, oh shit, he's going to come up with a fuck, what's it called?
Like a freestyle?
He's going to come up with a rap, but he's going to come up with a freestyle rap. Because remember the first time we see him really doing the whole thing, it's like a quick little, damn it, I know the word for this too. Not an anecdote, but not a joke. Anyway, so he tells like basically this little joke, but it rhymes.
Were you talking about soliloquy? It's not a soliloquy.
Soliloquy?
I don't know what a soliloquy.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm not an English.
I don't know.
Major.
It sounds right.
I heard the word before.
Sounds so nice.
A limerick. That's Irish.
A limerick. That's what it is. A limerick. So like when the show opens on him telling this limerick and it's rhyming and stuff. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of where he's starting to get his rap from. And then they just show him walking up to the microphone during the talent show during that flashback. It's like, okay, maybe he's starting to get his confidence. So when they ask for a bird bomb and he goes, all right, I'm assessing, and it shows him looking around the bar, and I'm like, oh shit, Dave's about to bust out a freestyle.
Oh, he about to bust a flow.
Right? I know a lot of that comes from just, you and me being fans of him and watching him freestyling at places and stuff like that. And I was like, fuck yeah! These guys, his friends, they're sitting there and they're going to get him to bust out a kick-ass freestyle right now? Fuck yeah.
Fuck to the yeah.
And that's not what happened.
No, instead he stands up on the booth and pisses his pants, which is great because I laughed my ass. I was like, no!
Dude, really? I was sitting there like, why the fuck would you do that? Because the thing is, they're filming him. And it's like, dude, you're literally about to do your first show. You're becoming an actual rapper now. And literally what's going to be associated with you is you pissing your pants.
Fuck it. Fuck it. He's crazy. He's crazy, funny white boy.
Dude, the part that surprised me about that was Gata was at that booth, and he didn't stop it. Yeah. I found that really surprising. And it's clearly because of the interaction they had with the security guy before.
Right. I don't think he wanted any part of that. And so Dickie, wakes up the next morning basically and just like completely probably fucking hungover.
So this is a part that I think is important.
Right.
Do you remember the first thing he does when he wakes up? Before he goes downstairs?
What is he does?
He checks his phone.
Oh, yeah. And he's got like four calls from Allie and like a next text
one
message.
Text that says, you left a really fucked up voicemail last night.
Oh, shit.
So I think that Dave, and the thing is, then he goes downstairs to kind of like hang out and talk with everyone. I don't think he ever addressed it. And I think this is the beginning of Dave fucking up his relationship with Allie.
It's Ali Molly, you mean?
Ali Molly, yep.
Oh, fuck.
Because I think that he's like, well, I'm a rap star, and I got to act like this. This is what I got to do. I'm sorry that I don't have time to be the boyfriend on the side. I think that this is the first step. I mean, and that's the thing. We never learn what he said. At least not in this episode. We don't learn what he said. We don't learn what was so fucked up or anything. But we know that he did something that it clearly upset her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to read what it said. And I was just like, man, I'll catch it the next time. And then the next time I watched it, it's like, man, I'll catch it the next time.
I caught it for you, brother. I caught it for you, buddy.
Thank you.
I caught it for you, bud.
Thanks.
I got you, boo.
So he comes down. Elle's chilling, and Elle's kind of has this real heart to heart moment with them, like, and it's just like, bro, like, like,
dude, I'm sorry, I got to interrupt you again.
Because
you missed one important thing, I think.
Oh, the Gata and Mike conversation.
Yes, and I do think that's important. As Dave's walking down the steps, Gata and Mike are walking past, and Mike's going, Gata, this is an $1,800 bill. That's unacceptable, man. What the fuck? He said we had free drinks all night. And Gata goes, no, I said we had a free table. I didn't say the drinks were free.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm also thinking they did get some free bottles, because with how much they drank, $1,800 seems smaller than the bill should have been.
I don't know, man. Like, that's like depend on where you go. Like,
dude, most places charge $200 for a bottle of Ciroc.
Yeah,
and they had a couple bottles of Ciroc and a bottle of Goose. And I'm assuming they had multiple bottles throughout the night.
Yeah, I mean that seems right for like 5-6 bottles, like depending on where you go and tax.
Actually, yeah,
and
that's
tip.
a good point.
You know what I mean? That sounds about right.
$1,800 in one night.
Horrible. Who paid that? Mike paid that, probably. You know what I mean?
You know why shit like that pisses me off? Because I think, do you know how much booze I could buy at the liquor store for $1,800?
I'd buy the whole store for $1,800.
Fat ass and watch the entire show with Dave.
Yeah, man.
Then it goes, and so and once again, it's a quick throwaway. It literally, the camera's not even focusing on them when they're talking about that.
Yeah, they're moving.
But I think it's also important because it points out that while Dave is clearly making some traction and starting to become this rapper that we all want, he's not there yet.
Right. No, not.
And that's why I thought that was important.
No, absolutely. And then, so not that moment happened. He has this conversation with Els where Els just basically gets really real with him and lets him know, like, hey, like, I don't like those guys. Those guys are assholes. Dave's like, what did you know?
What they do to you?
What they do to you? He's like, it's not what they did to me. It's what they did to you. And he tells him this whole breakdown of like, bro, and the long and short of it is they treated Dave like, he's like, you weren't funny. You were funny. You know what I mean? Like, they're not laughing.
A bird bomb was never laughing with you. A bird bomb's making you a joke, man.
Yeah. And it's not, it's the, oh, I'm not, people are like, I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing with you. It's opposite of that. I'm not laughing with you, I'm laughing at you. And that's
so this is why I said, go ahead.
I was going to say, this is that moment where L's just kind of, he keeps it real with them. And like, it's just like, bro, like, you need to wake up and smell like, this is the fuck what's going on. These people are not good for you. They never really fuck with you. And I think L's just trying to establish like, he's not saying I've been here for you, but he's just telling him they definitely haven't been here for you, and they never had your best interests at heart.
That's actually that's why I chose my words carefully when I said at the club and shit. It's like Dave's holding court, and at this point you realize if Dave's holding court, Dave wasn't the king; he's the jester.
Yes,
and they show it real well with this next flashback, which goes back to camp. So now we're at our third camp flashback,
right?
And it's it starts literally, the kids are talking, but it starts with Dave and this is the part that I like. It starts with Dave and Al just playing a quick game of catch with a football.
Yeah, right.
And I think that's really important. That it shows it's Dave and it's Els. It's not Dave and the other kids. Dave and Els.
I watched that a few times and I was like, oh yeah. No, it's them two who have the back and forth. Like literally, like that's a great metaphor for the back and forth. And then these
so much, man.
Yeah, and then these guys, he's not really sitting at the table. The kids, the kids that he ends up hanging out with as adults now, they draw him in. They're like, hey, you come over here. You do this thing. Do a bird mom. There's that pretty girl you like. And Dave's like, clearly Dave doesn't want to do it. But
no, not at all.
But the thing is, like, the attention is like, it's a thing. And he's just like, oh, this is what these people like me for. I got to give it to them, right? Like, it's that one-hit wonder.
Seems to think like, wait, this is a good idea? Like, she'll like this? They're like, oh, fuck yeah, she's gonna love this, man. It's gonna be so cool. Like, they're egging him on, but not just like, do this because it makes us laugh and we think this is funny, but they're also egging him on because they're like, well, isn't this what you want to do? Don't you want to be popular? Don't you want people to like you? Don't you want her to like you? She'll love this, man.
And I think,
because one of them even says, what, you think she's gonna like you because your looks?
Oh, right. That's a good point. That's right. Yeah. She's not yet. That's not going to happen. Obviously, it's got to be because you do something like this for us, right? Like,
because you're funny, you know.
Hey, we call that the old peer pressure.
Oh, the pressure of the peers.
The pressure of peers. Yes.
So, like, Dave literally he walks up to her, and by the way, like, right when she sees him, like, she seems like kind of excited to see him too.
Yeah, I
think
he liked her.
I think she liked him, and I think he liked her. But literally, he walks and he just goes, and he smashes 2 eggs on his fucking head, and then he runs and he jumps in a bush. And do you know what I immediately thought of?
What's that?
Shia LaBeouf.
Really?
I thought of Shia LaBeouf from Even Stevens.
Oh, okay.
Always smashing a cake into his face or like a pie or shit. Always being this outrageous kid because it got the laughs. I haven't watched Honey Boy yet. I hear it's fucking amazing. I do need to watch it. And,
the one where
he's quarantined. I might as well.
He wrote it about his dad or something like that, right?
Yeah, the one where it's his life and he plays his own dad.
Yeah.
But it seems very similar because from what I hear, like Shia LaBeouf's life is pretty fucking rough. And he was the joke, but he got to be around everyone. He got to make himself by being the joke, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's immediately what they think.
No, I think that's a great way to think it. And a lot of the bird bombs too, it's fucked up like slapstick comedy, but like,
oh yeah,
fucked up stunts and like fucked up shit that like, it's not like, hey, go up to her and say like, let me take down your panties. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, bro, like, we know you're going to do something crazy that involves like you, like, you know, like sabotaging your moment, like this moment. And like, you're probably going to do something with your body, like where it's crazy, right? So like, just do a bird bomb, right? That's what the bird bomb is.
Go hurt yourself.
Yeah. Or you somehow damage yourself.
It's what Elle said. Literally before we go into this flashback, Elle goes, it's like you're Steve-O, but in this shitty body and without any of the cool tattoos.
Right. It's exactly that. It's doing some jackass shit.
That's such an accurate way of saying it, you know, because Steve-O, look how much he hurt himself over the years.
Right.
Which, by the way, I don't know if you know this, Steve-O's doing really good now.
Yeah.
He's a vegan. He's starting an animal sanctuary. He's a comedian.
He does stand-up. Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, man. Good on him.
Good stuff. And then, so the next part we get, Dave just doesn't quite get it. He doesn't quite like. I don't think he accepts it just yet. I don't think it doesn't get it. He's just like, what?
I think he is like, fuck. Have I been wrong? He's questioning it.
He started to question it. The next little bit that I like that's still part of the scene is the dad. He comes down, and he's all dressed up already, and it's the morning time, and this motherfucker's all zooted up. You know what I'm saying? And the mom's like,
David's literally still in his underwear
that he peed in. He makes it a point to say that.
He goes, "Oh man, I peed in this underwear. That was epic." And it's like, what is wrong with your brain, dude?
Right. But I love the whole, like, again, like how we go back to, I think this episode's a lot to do with the mom and dad. They have that scene where, you know, it's just it's a real quick, like a lot of the bits are just, it's 1 to 2 lines, 4 lines, 5 lines. And she's just like, you're not wearing that out. You can't wear it to the concert. He's like, it's not just any concert. Yeah. He's like, it's not just any concert. He goes, I'm the father of the rapper.
Oh, so good. I love how happy and proud his dad is in that moment.
Yes. And the mom's like, I have clothes picked out for you. I don't know if you were like listening. I was like, that's such a mom thing to do. So fast forward, we're at the club now.
And they're walking in the green room.
Yeah, they got what's called the writer, right? You have the writer in it, and you write down like what basically your needs. your needs. And he
did
walks
10,000
in.
brown M&Ms, or Ozzy wasn't going to go on stage that night. Wayne's World 2.
I remember that. I remember the roadie. But yeah, he's got his whole fucking setup, and he's like, ooh, lo mein, and like again, there's funny bits that are the fucking tuna can. The tuna can. So
I was going to mention that, and I was going to mention another one, but the tuna can starts with Dave's dad goes, well, Mike, we got tuna, but we don't have a can opener. And he goes, right. Mike, if you ask for tuna, wouldn't a can opener just be supplied?
You have to write that in?
And Mike just goes, Mike just says, unfortunately, at our level, no, a can opener is not just implied.
Typical Mike.
And then he says to Dave, well, we could just throw it at a wall until one breaks open like we do at home.
He's like, would he just say something like the effect of like, no, I don't want it to be that messy or something like that?
Yeah. Dave just goes, well, I mean, I don't really want to mess up the room. Which is so great, because then it's clearly he cares more about his green room than his house.
Yeah, so clearly they're getting set up. The scene is they're getgetting set up in the green room, and it's all the things that come with it, all the amenities. And even so much as so
Dude, why would you have Lunchable?
Yeah, Dave loved Lunchables. We had these all the time growing up as a kid. But one of my favorite lines that I didn't catch the first time, I caught it the second, maybe third time even, was a guy pulls Dave to the side and he's like, so you want any sluts in the room?
I can just pull him aside or something, you know?
He's like, no.
No, that won't be necessary.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's like, okay, man. And then, so this whole bit it's very fast paced, but there's so many
it's less than a minute, I would say.
Yeah, there's so many good things that happen. Like the next thing you see is the mom goes and she's like, I gotta go get Dave his gift from the car while she takes snacks, of course. And the dad's like, you can't do that. Those are not for you. Those are not for you. And
well,
she's
they're
like,
out here for everyone to eat.
Yeah,
eat while you're here
in the room. Yeah. So that as the mom goes to the car, the dad goes and talks to Els, and this I didn't think he was going to do it.
Oh my
What he's about
God.
to do, what I'm about to describe. I thought he was going to stop like at one or two lines, but the dad's like,
nope.
Els, so tell me, why did you move from
what brought you to LA?
From Philadelphia to LA? And he's like, well, you know, and he does the whole bit. And he's like, so, you know, I don't think anything. And so he talks about the whole Fresh Prince of Bel-Air rap.
So, you know, as you know, in West Philadelphia,
born and raised.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. You know, I was just chilling, you know, relaxing, all cool, you know, shooting, you know, playing basketball and, you know.
Oh, you boys love basketball.
And a couple of guys who were just like up to no good, you know, started making a little trouble in my neighborhood. And I got in one little eensy-weensy fight. And my mom got scared and said that I was moving with my uncle to Bel Air. And the dad's like,
I thought you moved to West Hollywood.
That's damn near line for line. Like I thought Els was gonna stop way like into that, like one or two. He did the whole fucking verse damn near. So, the dad didn't catch it.
Something I used to love to do to friends.
Uh-huh.
I would just you know, I'd get really down and I'd just look really depressed, and a friend would just be like, Jeff, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? I'd be like, yeah. I mean, I guess I'm okay. I got these friends back home. My buddy Tommy, you know, Lake Michigan. You know, Tommy. He used to work on the docks. But right now his union's on strike, and he's down on his luck, and it's tough. It's so tough. And then he's got his girlfriend Gina. She works the diner like all day. She said she's working for the man and bringing home the pay, you know, for love. I'm like, really? For love? I don't know. I just tell them they got to hold it. And like, usually I get to the part where I actually have to say, I'm just like, whoa, oh, they're living on a prayer before someone figures out what the fuck I'm doing.
Oh my God.
Use that and just mess with your friends.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a good one. It's a lot harder with Don't Stop Believing.
Right.
But you can still pull that one off, too.
I mean, I had a friend of mine. She was just a small town girl, man. And I remember she was living in a lonely world. And one night, she took a train like around like midnight, and she just wanted to go anywhere. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's a late train. Do you got any other friends?
There was my other friend. He was born and raised. He was born and raised. He was just a city boy. I mean, and he was actually born and raised South Detroit. South Detroit.
Oh, really? That's a city. Yeah. That's a city.
Yeah. And he, you know what? Funny story, man. That's how these two met. He also took a midnight train, and he was just like, I don't care where I'm going. I'm going anywhere. You know what I mean? So, wow.
Are they a couple? Did they meet up? I mean, it sounds like they're strangers.
Dancing.
Waiting.
Yeah.
Down the All right.
Anyways, back to the podcast. Listen.
So the next thing we see, it cuts to Dicky doing his meet and greet.
Yeah, they do the meet and greet. And this shit is fucking... So this is where I want to touch on something. So we meet a few people, and I'm going to describe... So he went on Sway, and I showed you... He did 2 freestyles on Sway. For those who don't know, who is Sway? Sway is... ex-MTV kind of video. I think he still hosts, actually. He still hosts like TRL and shit like that. But he hosts Sway in the Morning. It's a hip-hop radio show. He talks to people. They do the music and shit like that. But I want to read part of Lil Dicky's freestyle the last time he was on Sway. The last time he did a freestyle on Sway. Glow in the dark, see me anytime. I used to put the Xbox controller on my dick and let it vibrate. How I jerked off as a child. Came a long way. Now I'm like, hey girl, you, me, fuck. And that shit worked. Hey. Her brother looking at me like, hey, fuck a bro. Sway. Her brother looking at me like, hey, fuck a bro.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about. It actually just came on my screen.
Right. So in the moment, people are like, what the fuck would you describe that moment for? There is this whole scene of where like Dicky is meet and greeting fans, and like it is all kind of like kid with a broken arm just wants to meet him. That's
actually my favorite.
Oh, the kid with
because
the broken...
of what Dave does. Because the guy goes, "Hey, can you sign my cast?" And Dave's like, "Yeah, of course. Oh, absolutely. I have I got a Sharpie just for that reason." And he starts signing the cast, and he's saying, "Huh."
How do
I didn't even think about what my Lil Dicky signature is going to be. Can't believe it. And he starts signing, and he goes, never mind. I'm going to Control-Z that shit. Yeah. And he crosses it out, so there's just a giant black blotch on this guy's cast.
And then the next people we meet is this brother and sister, and he's like...
fucking gingers, man.
Yeah, fucking gingers. And he's like, hey, me and my sister, we love you. And he's like, you could probably take her back to...
Like, oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, probably after the show, you could take her back to your trailer and do whatever you want with her. And the sister's just like,
she's just
laughing. So you say, you could do whatever you want to her, probably. And James like, what? That's the weirdest.
That's not even necessary right now. Why would you?
Then there's the military. You don't even know he's military. I gave it away, but like this dude's like,
you figure it out pretty quick.
Yeah, he's like, hey, bro, I just want to let you know I've killed people to your shit. And Dave's like, what?
In Iraq, I'm a sniper.
Yeah,
I killed your shit, bro. Then he goes, hey, my girlfriend would just love it. If you just, can you sign my dick?
He's like, what? I
mean, could you draw a dick on my dick?
No, pull your pants back. No, I'm not gonna. There's people in line. No, pull your pants back up.
Really? You're not gonna do it at all?
No, I can't do it now. No.
Like, wait. So not now?
No, I can't. I know there's people. I've got to know.
Like maybe later. Like I don't know. Like wait around after the show or something.
Right.
Funny. I don't know.
Yeah, dude. Fucking hilarious.
Part about that guy though was that guy goes like, "Oh, I love your song," like Buttercup or some shit.
Banana cream pie or something. Banana. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. And Dave goes, "Really? That song sucks."
And he's like,
"I just goes." He's like, "Oh, I just thought. I don't know. It was just funny like the rest of them."
Yeah, I just thought it was like the rest of your shit.
His face was so angry at that. And I think that's important though, because it's like, oh, okay, so not everyone knows I'm a real artist. You know, some people are like, oh, he's just, you know, funny, stupid jokes.
It reminded me of the dude from fucking Freaky Friday.
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
That same vein of like, oh, he's not a rapper, right? Like he's just like,
he's a rapper. Or no?
It tells jokes about how small his dick is, and they're, oh, like, okay, yeah. Don't worry, bro. I put a lot of people on your shit.
I put so many of my friends on your dick.
That's what that dude says too. He's like, I've been a dickhead since back in the day, and David's like, what? Like, what are you talking about?
But then it gets cute because then his parents are in line. He's like, why are you even in line right now? Mm-hmm. And I love this part. His dad just goes, well, we know Dave, but we have yet to be introduced to Little Dicky. I was like, that's actually really cute of them and really sweet. And they got a plant for him.
They give him a plant. It doesn't flower. Yeah.
and you know, they hold up like the Little Dicky, you know, the little Dicky sign.
Yes.
He goes, oh God, and now you're doing the little dick sign. And the mom goes, oh, is that what it means? And so she stretches her fingers. She makes her bigger,
yes. And then I love how the dude's like,
And also realize
what's
that means his parents are doing the Crip sign.
Right. They're throwing up gang signs too. They need to be watch out for the Bloods. The guy's like 2, 3, 6.
Yeah, the guy
8,
was cast.
4, and Dave's like, you're giving me your, is that your cell phone number? He's like, yeah, I
don't even need that. Right?
I'm not going to use, no, I'm done. It's not necessary. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to, I don't need it.
Use that.
Yeah, I'm never going to use that. So then we cut back to Dave, green room, pre-show.
Before we cut back,
okay.
Like the entire point of this whole meet and greet, or not the point of it, but the feel you get is like, it's getting less and less fun and more high strung, more and more awkward, and like you can tell Dave is really, by the end of it, Dave's just not enjoying this at all. And it's just like you can tell his mood is clearly souring.
Mood is shifting. The mood is shifting. The pendulum is swinging to the other side of, hey, you know, I'm happy to meet everybody, to like, whoa, bro, like that's a lot to take in, you know what I mean? And so we get back to the green room, and he's got the people in there and they're chilling. Friends come in. You know, the camp friends come in, and I love how one of them's like, hey, Els, you too good to come tell us hi? And Els is like, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
And he's like,
that was my,
oh man, that's always been, you plays it off. Dude plays it off.
Oh,
yeah. And then they start like, this is really interesting.
They immediately starts grabbing everything.
Well, they also start bitching. Do you got some Stellas? Can we get some Stellas? Dave, you can get the Stellas, right? And
Dave's like, I don't know, what you see is what I have.
And then one of the guys is like, Rob's back at, Rob's back at, he's saying they gotta, you know, he's got to get a ticket. He's at the, you know, the box office.
Yeah, he's like at the box office. That's what it was.
He's at the box. Like, can we like, you know, we gotta. And he's like, yeah, I'll send Mike to go. Mike, can you go? And Mike clearly, he doesn't want to tell him I don't want to do it, but he's like, bro, I got to do a million things. Like right before, I haven't eaten since like yesterday. Like, you know, I
think that was really fair to him, by the way. I think he was like, you know, I actually have important things to do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Other than letting your dickweed friend in, you know,
who are fucking, they're clearly like mooching like all this shit right now.
Which, by the way, like I literally just realized on this, like a second ago, when they walk in, like there's two guys that aren't even talking to Dave. They're over at the Lunchables and the Chow and the Lo Mein,
right? And
there's another dude who's literally grabs the bottle of vodka for himself.
Yeah.
Like it's not even like they're grabbing a beer or so. Like this dude takes a fucking fifth of vodka, like it's his.
Right. And like they don't give it, like it's no, like it's a lot of, I think the scene it paints the picture of a lot of people are just like, they're just there. Like they're just like, they serve no purpose. They're for the greater good.
So entitled, and they clearly just expect Dave to give them shit.
Yes, exactly that. Like they're doing nothing and they're using him. And so Dave kind of clearly, like he's getting fired from all ends. Like he's hearing it from this side, that side. This guy wants to come in. Like this person, they're bitching about shit. And then he's just like, everybody needs to get out. Like right now.
Yeah, I need you all to get out right now, man. And then the dickhead goes, well, can we still get some Stella?
Yeah.
And Dave's like, what kind of question is that?
Right.
I don't know. Get out. Figure it out, you know?
Right. Yeah, like I'm not here to provide for you anymore.
By the way, Dave's got a really, really nice green room considering this is his first concert ever.
Yeah, it's a badass green room, man. And
yeah.
And I love how L's in that moment. This is that moment that we were talking about earlier from the club to now where L's...
Yeah, he just clears everyone out.
L's is so like... Yeah, like it's... He's happy for Dave.
He literally says, hey, thank you.
Yeah. Yes. And it's only Gata and L's for a brief second, and Dave's like, I need y'all to leave too. I just need a few moments. Like, right? Like,
the part I like about that, they don't even question it. They're like, yeah, man, you're the fucking artist. They just get up and then walk out.
Right. We get it, dude.
Yeah.
And so from there, right, we got
our last flashback.
We get our last flashback, and it's clearly the kids. It wasn't all the kids. Like, Dave remembers it a certain type of way from what, like, the way, like, it kind of happened. Right. You know, he said everybody was screaming my name, you know, but really it was...
We want Bird. We want
really,
Bird.
It was the guys who have been, like, who Dave thought was his friends, like four boys who were just like, they start the chant. And it doesn't look like it's from a place of like, hey, like, this guy's really cool. Like, it looked from a place of like, we're going to make fun of him and he's going to...
So first off, one thing that I noticed at this point, the first watch through, was Els is the only one not chanting. Els is the only one that's not clearly not happy about this.
Mm-hmm.
But two, right after Dave gets up and starts walking up there, you just go, oh, he's such a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, they clearly are just doing this to have him make a fucking joke of himself.
Yeah, they clearly don't have his best interests at heart. And
no.
So we fast forward, or we come back to, I mean, obviously Dave, you see Dave.
He's alone in his green room.
Well, no, I love this. I want to paint this right before we get back to the green room thing. But in the talent show, all you see is Dicky walk up when he's a young kid to the front of the stage, and you never really see what he does.
Yeah, he just turns towards the crowd.
He just turns to the crowd, and it cuts to like back. We're back with Dave, and it's present day Dave, and he's alone, and he has this. It reminds me of like something that would happen at kind of in Atlanta, but not really, right? Where it's like this extension of yourself. He sees this young version of himself in the green room, and the kid's trying to do all these things. Like, he draws on his face with a Sharpie. He like farts in his hand, tries to cup it, and put his nose.
How do you think that sucked for that actor in real life?
Bro, yeah, because that shit doesn't come off, right? Like, very easy.
He literally colors all over his goddamn face.
I mean, it comes off. Trust me. I you know, it hasn't happened to me or anything. But
it takes a few washes.
It takes a few. You got to kind of get that shit off. And, anyways, clearly the kid's trying to. It's this is young Dave.
And shoves it in his own face.
Yeah, and so he's just like. Finally, he does the low main thing again, where he shoves his face in the low main. And this is clearly it's symbolic because it's Dave confronting, or Dave looking at a previous version of himself, the young version of himself that is tied to that camp. And
it's very much he's clearly starting to accept the reality of what happened, as opposed to living in that fantasy like he has been doing this entire episode.
Right. He clearly is like, he's clearly going through this whole like reflection phase. And
yeah, reflection's like a perfect word for it.
Like reflection and like a cleansing of like, this is what I was and this is who I was, and that's what he based his whole. I feel like that's what he based is this whole like, I'm Dave because of this, because of these moments that happen, and not because of like who I am now. Letting the past define him and all that jazz. And so this is a moment where he confronts. He's like looking at a past version of himself in the green room, and the kid, you know.
And I don't know about you, but I was actually worried at this point.
About what? For what?
So remember, the kid shoves his face in the low main, and he's like, "Oh, this will get him to laugh." And he pops it back up, and Dave just looks at him and smiles and goes, "That was amazing. Can't believe I forgot you were the funniest kid ever." And it's like, "Oh, god damn it! Tell me you're not going back to that guy."
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what was happening. The first question
is like, oh, fuck, does he still believe that those camp friends are his actual friends?
Right.
Which, by the way, clearly we also find out, and you're supposed to believe it. Right. You're supposed to think that. Because then he tries then he tricks his younger self.
Yeah.
And he says, dude, that was so funny. Can I just see you do that again?
And
his younger self
does it again. But
yeah,
this time,
plants right back to Lomain.
But this time, Dave has walked closer to. So this is before we get to what we're about to say. It's like this time clearly, like Dave is. I think I thought at this point he was making peace with his past self. And he's like, I need that. I need you to do this, to do that. Like for me to feel this type of way. And I was just like, I get it, okay. And then this motherfucker, he starts killing his younger self.
He literally drowns his younger self in the Lomain, and dude, it is.
He kills a kid. He kills a kid.
He's got a fist in this kid's fucking hair, and
he's holding
his fucking
the hair.
bicep bulging as he's pushing him in, and the kid struggles like crazy to get out too.
He does not want to die. Dave kills a kid on national TV.
Fun fact, that wasn't acting. That child actor's now dead.
Yeah, fun fact, the kid's now dead. Fun fact, the funeral was last week.
But it's crazy because like you see this just anger and hatred on Dave's face while he's doing it. It is creepy for a second, man.
It's very. I mean, the whole thing's fucking. It's dark. It gets to the darkest point until you realize, like, like this has to happen.
Metaphor.
Yeah,
he has to kill that joke that he was to become the performer and the artist that he is.
Yes, exactly that. And he kills himself. He kills that past version of himself. It's very symbolic. That's what I love how we're breaking down the Atlanta series too, because there's a lot of symbology and all that in there. And
yeah,
but there's this in there too. Like it has never been more clear. You know what I mean? In the Dave series, that literally
this is the most obvious they've ever made it.
Right. This is literally Dave like doing something that's symbolic. And maybe it's been there the whole time and I haven't seen it, but this is in your face symbolic. Because obviously he didn't kill a kid. Like obviously if somebody were to walk in, the Lomain would be normal. Like the kid, there would not be a kid on the ground. But he kills a part of himself, and that's the moment. Like he walks out. And he walks to the stage.
And he walks past Mike, and Mike just silently hands him the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
And he walks right up to Gaeta. And, Gaeta's also, you can see Gaeta's really into it. You know, he's just just bopping his head. He's getting ready. He's getting excited. And he just looks at Dave and he just goes, hey, kill it.
Right.
And then Gaeta goes on stage. And Dave just kind of looks through the curtain.
I'm watching
dude, he just busts out on stage.
Watching that scene right now.
Yeah. So, dude, I love so many things about this scene so much. First, I love the fact that they did it silent. That they took all the volume out of it.
I do too.
I thought it was really powerful. I thought it was really important, and I thought it was so good.
It's not also silent too. It's slow mo.
Yeah.
It's a part of it that's
second
slow mo.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say
absolutely.
It's and the music that they have in the background, bro. Like it's this piano and it's just very melodic and just like it puts you in your feels real quick, dude.
Absolutely. The second thing I love is the second Dave touches that stage, he's all high octane, 100% energy, jumping around, bouncing. He's singing, but he's literally jumping the entire fucking time. I'm watching it right now too, man.
Right.
But not just that, he's doing it. Gaeta and Els are right in sync with him. Literally everyone on stage is the highest fucking energy. And I think it's really important that Els was.
Yes.
Because, you kind of get the feeling that Els is like, oh, man, this is just my buddy's stupid joke.
Let's rewind to when Dave wanted to do the song for John. John. But you remember he was like, we got to throw your hands in the air. And Els is like,
hands in the air.
I'm not doing any of that shit. I'm not doing any of that shit, right? But
now, you're so corny.
Right, but now, Els is like just natural, bro. Like he's making everybody else hype for Dave.
So I'm not trying to be a dick. But when we saw Gianni and Kyle,
right,
like they had like maybe level 2 energy,
bro.
Dude, Dicky, Gata, and Al's on stage. They had level. They went to 11.
Yeah, the
fucking high energy, and
stage
dude, they literally, you can't hear the song, but I felt it, dude. It was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing is, Dicky uses that stupid fucking graphic that Emma made.
Yeah,
the one with his
with the
face
is
L and the
in
D.
the shape of an L and a D. The one we were making fun of, he ended up using that,
and it ended up fucking working. But not because of that, but because of that energy he fucking brought to stage, man.
Right, bro. This
amazing.
It ends. It's super powerful, but because of the ending. Like, it starts off like a funny little Dicky episode, like how, like, you know, the second one would be, or the fourth one would be, right? But this one is actually like, it ends on this, like, you're like, fuck. Like, the last 5 minutes are the best part of this, that are the most impactful part of this, I think, are the, that is like, it's the most meaningful, and it says everything that was the build-up for the rest of everything else, which is, I mean, of course, great. That's what a story does.
Episode 3 was the relationship, the sex episode, right?
Yeah.
Spadies. Where that episode showed the biggest growth with Dave as a person and in a relationship, this episode showed the biggest growth of Dave as an artist and a rapper.
Yes.
And it was, like, honestly, if you're going just by the amount of growth, he might have had even more growth in this one than he did in the relationship episode.
Yeah, I mean, in a different area, right? And
100%.
I want to
just
point
the amount of growth, I think.
Yeah, and I want to point to something too that I think this is a director kind of the way they want to tell the story, but you don't never see, or you don't ever hear, you don't ever hear of Dave when he does his early on talent show. We never know what happens. It's a very Alfred Hitchcock type thing where you kind of fill in the blank. You never see the killer kill somebody. You kind of fill in your head about what happened, which is almost, it's a leave it to your audience. It's that thing we talk about in Atlanta, right? Where, like, and I don't mean to keep bringing up Atlanta. Everybody should go follow that new segment that we're starting to do. But,
dude, if you like Dave, you'll love Atlanta. If you like Atlanta, you'll love Dave.
You love the way we break this down too, because we do that one too a little bit different, and it's great.
A lot more symbology.
Symbology, baby. That'll be my rapper name if I ever am a rapper. Symbology. But is it symbology? Is it Korean?
There's a question mark at the end?
Is it symbology? But anyways, there's sensory deprivation that happens. You're removed from seeing it. You're removed from hearing it. In this one, you see it. You can't hear it though, right? So, like, almost both the talent shows, we don't get we get enough experience that makes us feel a certain type of way. If that makes any sense. I don't know if that makes any sense. But does it make any sense?
It does make sense. I think so. What I'm wondering is the reason they're doing it because they straight up think it doesn't matter? Or is the reason they're doing it because they want you to focus more on the story and the growth than the song itself? There's so many different things that it could have been for why they decided to do it the way they did it. But no matter what, I mean, this was brilliant. It was the perfect way to do this. And personally, for me, if they had let us hear whatever song it was that Dave did and started singing when he goes out onto the stage, I would have been focusing on that a lot more than I would have been focusing on the moment and the triumph of the moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the feel of the moment. I'd have been focused on the hype. I'd have been bouncing my head, right? And this time I was just like, holy fuck. Like, it made you feel. They did, like, when you can make somebody feel some type of way and you're not using any words, you're not using any, you're just using visual and, like, minimalistic, like, sound. Brother, you made it. You know what I mean?
It's a real testament to not just the writing, but the cinematography.
The directing, bro.
Oh, the director! My God, yeah, agreed.
This is my favorite directorial episode. If that makes
I
any
think
sense.
the cinematography of this episode is the best. Yeah. I couldn't agree with you.
Best. I learned to appreciate new things about every episode, and the writing, of course, that we pointed out, and the character development. But like this, by far, directorial wise, cinematography, like. Ah, man, this is my favorite episode in that.
Left me wanting more.
Yeah, in that flow. What do we have? Let's name some facts real quick and we'll get the hell out of here. What do we have as far as, give me some IMDb facts. Tell me,
So there was no trivia for this one, but, so first things first, next episode is titled, What Would You Wear? Would spelled W-O-O-D.
Okay. Interesting.
So interested on that. Here's my question to you. We're ranking all the episodes, right?
Okay.
We've said that so far we've liked every episode more than the one before it. What's your feelings on this episode?
Less than the one before this.
Yep.
Maybe somewhere between 2 and 4.
This for me is either once again the last episode
not a 2 or 4.
Man,
I mean, I'm not
my favorite.
Yeah, I think this one's I'd say between maybe 8.1, 8.8, 7.9, somewhere between there.
So I'll say this is either my second or third favorite episode.
Really?
I'm not sure because of how much I loved the episode, the Hyperspinces episode, just his growth with Allie. But I think just because of the cinematography and the directing and everything, this might have to nudge that one out.
I'm going to give it 8.2, 8.3 now that thinking about it, yeah.
I'm going to give it an 8.6, 8.7.
Really? Okay.
Oh, let's see what IMDb gave it.
I want to see what IMDb gave it.
IMDb gave it 8.4.
Yeah, okay. I'm not far off.
Yep.
All right, nice.
I loved it. I thought it was so well done. I thought... So they use flashbacks a decent amount in this show. I think the way they used it in this episode... With the exception, once again, taking Hype Man out of it, I think the way they used it in this episode was the most creative.
It served like a great, just like they did the previous one. It served this purpose to drive the story like forward and forward. You needed those bits to get that character development and in this case, we've already developed the character of Dicky. It's to develop a certain trigger, a certain side of him that we're not familiar with, or that we see, that I would say not familiar, but we see, but we're like, what the fuck, why does he keep doing this, or why is he like this type of way? You know what I mean?
I also loved how we got to see the entire group kind of come together just for Dave. Mm-hmm. We usually see it with Gata, we usually see it with Mike, but I think Els in a big way was there for Dave in this one, and he was there on Dave's team in this one. I think all three of them were a lot, but I think this is the most we've seen it with Els, and I really enjoyed that. I think this was a good growth, not even a good growth episode for Els, but like a good reveal episode for Els. You know, kind of showing more who he is and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought it was, I loved how that was done.
This is that Els coming around moment. I think after this we see Els come around a little bit more, and I think the peak of that was... him being in the room, like, thank you, man, like, kind of and telling Dave in not so many words, but with all the words, like, you made the right choice, like, you did great, brother. Like,
well, and you know, he gave him a real hard truth, and a lot of times you don't want to have to tell your friends something like that, but it's the best friends who make you kind of really focus on or face those sort of things, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is facts on facts. This is facts on facts, brother.
The weird thing about this episode, in my mind, why wasn't Allie there? Wouldn't you think Allie would be at his first show?
No, she's got school to teach.
I mean, still, it's his first show ever. She couldn't have gotten one day off for it?
No, she's got school to teach. They came one day, they slept a night. They went the next day, they went to the club. The third night is when the fucking show happened. You know what I mean? Like,
and she couldn't have just been there for the third night? That's what I'm saying.
What if it was a weekday? What if that was a Thursday, bro? Like, I don't think she was able to make it for legit reasons.
I have to assume that just because of where the relationship is right now. But yeah, I thought it was a bit odd that she wasn't there.
Yeah, I get it. Bro, if you're right about her being Ali Molly since the jump, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Fuck you, man.
Yeah.
You definitely don't see her in this episode.
Not at all.
Whoa.
You literally don't see her once. You just see her through the text messages.
Is this the first episode we haven't seen her?
Yeah. Shit.
Damn. Think about that.
I think the only... has Mike been in every episode?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was he in the first episode?
Yeah. Because
Yes,
remember, because he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch this whatever movie without you." He's like, "Don't do that, please, don't do that." They were like trying to kiss.
Then he was definitely in the second episode.
Yeah.
He was definitely in the third episode.
Because the second line,
doing the back knee?
the one line. No. Well, that too. Like I should have remembered that was okay. Now, Daddy's gotta go get high too. I'll be in the cart doing drugs.
We've now had Dave, Gata, Els, and Mike in every episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
We did not have Ali Molly in this episode, and I'm wondering, bro. Okay? So the episode's called what now? We got to make our predicts.
What would you wear? I think.
What would, and the word is wood.
And wood is like wood.
What would you wear? What would you wear? And I haven't seen the preview. I know they put the preview up sometimes. I have not seen the preview. Have you seen the preview yet?
It.
Okay.
No.
I know they put it up on like Instagram and like Facebook and shit like that.
I don't ever watch them.
I never watched it until after we make our predicts, and then I'm like, ooh. What would you wear? What is wood? What is something?
You know what? Okay, wood, hard on, erection, dick. So maybe wood is just like. So maybe are they trying to like figure out Dicky's new style?
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, that's what would make the most sense to me, just based off the title. What would you wear? But the wood isn't referring to like wood; it's referring to Dicky.
Yeah, I love that.
So maybe it's not just like trying to like figure out his style, but also like
is it wear? Is it like YG? No, I'm just saying. Is it wear? Is it wear like to wear something, or is it like
yeah,
wear?
It is that.
Okay.
It is. It's WEAR. So I'm thinking it's maybe like Dicky, Dicky. They're trying to like update his style, and maybe by extension, Dave kind of going more towards Dicky than Dave. Because I feel this entire season, at least, is definitely trying to illustrate the conflict between Dave and Lil Dicky. And I just keep coming back to that, to him waking up after the club, to all those missed calls from Allie, and you sent me the weirdest, you left me the weirdest voicemail on earth last night. So I think,
and
what
also,
would you wear?
They didn't even
updating his style. Yeah,
they didn't even put a scene in where like he talked to her. You know what I mean? Like a 1 minute, like or 2 second, like okay, babe, I love you, bye. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
Nothing like that in this episode.
So I'm thinking it's what would you wear is an update of his style, but it turns into him being like, well, I got to embrace the Lil Dicky persona and moving further away from Allie.
Interesting. I get, man, you keep calling the Allie card, bro, and it's some predicts have come true, man, so far. Like there's definitely some tension right there.
Now,
man.
I'll be honest, good amount of why I keep predicting Allie is because she's really hot and I want to keep seeing her in episodes.
Bro, what if they do like a season 2 and like she's getting married and it's kind of like that Molly song, dog? I would cry. I would cry if I ever saw that.
The best way, man.
Yes, I would cry, but like it would be tears of happiness and sadness.
So if they're going to do that, I'll bet it would be like end of season 1, she breaks up with him. You see her a little bit in season 2, and end of season 2, he's at the wedding.
Yes, and they'll pull it off just like they do, like they film him kind of getting ready for the thing. It's just a longer version of Molly, bro. It's just a longer version of Molly.
And I'll bet and you know what? I'll bet the entire season's supposed to be like a flashback to between the wedding and what happened at the end of season 1.
Damn. Okay, this is already some far off shit. Bro, we getting there. What would you wear? Guys, make your predictions if you have any. Feel free to send them in. Feel free to tune in. Feel free to check out the Atlanta series we just started. Feel free to check out my new songs. Well, I don't say new songs. My old songs I dropped. When It Rains is one of my favorite songs. Yeah, no, it's good. I decided to, so for those that listen to this, I decided to drop some of my old songs just because, this is all about being vulnerable, and what better way to be vulnerable than y'all than show y'all who I used to be before I was podcasting, and still had the same mind frame of, love and all that gushy shit, and it's great, and it's an extension of me. It's a part of me. I want to share that with y'all, so I hope y'all enjoy all of that. Jeff, for people that enjoy all of you, where can they find you?
I enjoy all of you, Blake.
Stop that.
They can find me. They can Skype me at Don Cheadle's driveway at LilDicky2.com. And then they can try and find me on Facebook. And, I don't know, we'll figure shit out.
Bet.
Or you can find me social distancing in my home, but I can't let you in because I'm being socially distant,
You guys can have a conversation through the door, or you can sit on his patio, and he'll crack the window open, but you got to be 6 feet away.
I'm down. That works. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
just bring either some whiskey and a 6-pack, and then also just ask, before you come over, just ask Jeff what he wants to eat.
Or just be Taylor Mishiak, and I don't care about social distancing. You can come right in.
Spare key is under the pot right next to the door. Guys, you can follow the Unfiltered Bachelor podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are. That's where we are. Follow me, Muddy Blakeweather, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I hope y'all are loving the segments. I hope y'all are loving the Dave series, and I definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in, whether it's morning, evening, afternoon. First of all, stay safe, stay social distancing, and until the next time, we'll see you. Peace.